Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Steven. I have another review for you. This time I'm talking about director Guy Ritchie's new film, Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. So upon first glance, it seemed a little bit pretentious to attach your name to the title, because this was originally called The Interpreter, but I guess it wasn't an attempt to separate itself from the 2006 horror of the same name. So we'll give him a pass. But if his next movie is Guy Ritchie's, then we'll know it was out of vanity. Alright, so this version of The Covenant is a war thriller, but Guy Ritchie really dials it down from the flashy action style that he's used to delivering, and this time he tells a more serious story. It's more along the lines of a Peter Berg movie, but better. Alright, so this movie stars Jake Gyllenhaal as Sergeant John Kinley, who re-enters the war zone in order to repay a debt that he owes to his interpreter, Ahmed, played by Dar Salim. So Ahmed dragged Kinley across treacherous terrain for days in order to keep him alive after they were surrounded and tracked by the Taliban. But this movie differs from a normal war movie because this time it focuses on the interpreters. These interpreters are promised by the US a special immigration visa in exchange for their services, but the problem is that so many of them are killed before those promises could be delivered. So on the surface level, this movie is about our unpaid debts to those people. But much deeper than that, it's about the bond between people. You have two men from vastly different cultures bonded by honor, loyalty, and brotherhood. Kinley wakes up from his injuries in a US hospital, and he finds out that Ahmed, as well as his family, is on the Taliban's most wanted list after his rescue of the American soldier. Ahmed and his family, of course, get lost in that bureaucratic red tape of trying to get his visas and relocate to the US. And John, growing increasingly frustrated with the process, takes it upon himself to re-enter the war zone, locate Ahmed and his family, and extract them. It's a pretty compelling story. But one of the standouts for this movie would be the locations. Serving as the war zone, the movie was filmed in Alicante, Spain. The barren terrain and mountainous villages really look the part. The cinematographer, Ed Wild, he uses a lot of these overhead drone shots, which are really well composed, and it just highlights their isolation in that terrain. It's also used effectively to show the enemy combatants just surround the two numerous times. It's really well shot and the action looks incredible, but of course Ritchie is no stranger to the action genre. The battle scenes in this movie, they're pretty small scale, but they're quite intense, and the performances of the two leads, Gyllenhaal and Salim, really keep that tension high throughout their encounters with the Taliban. Salim was particularly great when he is helping John survive in the mountains after that attack. You know, he's just dragging him through the hills, pushing him up steep mountainside roads, and he has a couple close encounters with the enemy where he may or may not have to take action. The film is also backed by a really nice score by longtime Guy Ritchie collaborator Eric Benstead, full of strings that kept me on the edge of my seat. And it appears like this movie is a true story, especially with the photographs that they show at the end credits, but it's only based on similar situations. I'm sure this sort of thing has happened many times with the 50,000 interpreters that were employed during this 20-year war, but I'm not sure how many soldiers re-entered the war zone alone to save one of them. So I saw this movie in the middle of a weekday, so of course there weren't many people in my theater, but the applause that they gave at the end of the movie made it seem like a whole lot more. After watching the trailer for this, it wasn't a movie that I was particularly excited about, but after watching it I was pleasantly surprised with just how good it was. For letter grade, I'd give it a B-. I don't know, I just love these more mature, serious mattered films from directors that you probably wouldn't normally expect that from. Should you see this movie? I think so. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Just a quick review like always. See you on the next one.